Welcome back to 90s Punk Rock Covers. My name is Sam. In today's video, I will share with you what's in my camera bag. So one of the things both my wife and I like to do is travel. Normally, we travel abroad once a year, either to Europe or South America, and a couple of times within the US. It is what we love to do, and we are very fortunate to be able to do this so far. Now, unfortunately, due to COVID, as we all know, traveling has been dangerous and challenging. And prior to this whole mess, we were actually been planning a trip to Japan for my 40th birthday in October. But since that is not happening anymore, we've decided to go on a different kind of trip for the holidays. We decided to rent a cabin in North Carolina with some close friends of ours. So I figured this was a good opportunity to make this video and share with you what I would normally take with me on a trip. Basically, I wanted to go compact, light, and enjoy shooting photos again. In the past, I've often carried too much stuff with me on trips, which was always a hassle to carry around. And in the end, I didn't find myself shooting as many pictures as I would have wanted to for those reasons. Which is why I ended up picking up the Leica Q-P. I did a whole video about the camera and how much I really like it, so I will link it here in the video. But now before I get into the camera bag, I also want to share with you this new camera that I just got a few months ago. This is a Leica MP Type 240, which I've also reviewed, and the video will be up in the channel in a few weeks. So I'm very happy with this camera so far. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up now is because both the Q-P or this Type 240 will be basically interchangeable in my bag. So basically, depending on the type of shooting that I want to do and the focal length that I want to use, I would take one or the other. And the great thing about this camera is that I can actually change lenses, while the Q-P only has a fixed lens, the 28mm lens. So, into the bag. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted a small and compact system, so this bag is made by Ona and it fits the bill perfectly. I'm a huge fan of their bags. I own two more bags, one that's a little bit smaller than this one and a bigger one, which I might actually end up selling as well, since it feels too big for this current camera system. The bag is called the Bowery and the finish is olive green. And like you see, it's a very stylish bag with a very minimalist design, which I particularly love. It's roomy enough to fit two film or rangefinder camera bodies with small lenses attached and a third space for accessories or extra lenses. So the way I've configured my bag is the following. Depending on the kind of trip, I usually like to carry two cameras with me, one being a digital camera and a film camera. I got into film photography around 3 years ago, and I just love the whole shooting experience I get with film. Okay, so now let's get inside the bag here. So as you can see, this is basically how I have everything set up. Everything's pretty snug right now because I packed a lot of stuff in it, but I just wanted to show you how much stuff you can actually put in this bag. So let's start with this side. So this is my Leica Q-P, as I mentioned before. This is my main travel camera, my main digital camera for pretty much everything. The 28mm lens is awesome, and it's perfect for travel photography. You can get some nice landscape shots with it, and also some environmental portraits with it as well. So it's an all-around awesome camera. I love it. Like I mentioned on my video, I can't say how much I really like this camera. So this is with me all the time. Put it here. Second compartment here, I have my film camera. This is the only film camera that I own, but it's actually the camera that helped me get started into film photography a few years ago. This is the Pentax K1000, and it's an amazing camera, very simple to use. This camera is actually coined as a student photography camera, and basically, I think this is a camera you would get in a photography class in high school, basically, because this will teach you all the fundamentals of photography. Everything about this camera is mechanical and manual. The only thing that you can add is a battery for your light meter, but even without the battery, the camera will still function perfectly. So it's an amazing camera. I really love it. And right now I have a 50mm Super Takumar f1.4. This is a pretty cool lens. Actually, it's pretty sought after. You can find it used at a good price too, but this particular version is one of the earlier ones, and it's actually one of the ones that have a radioactive element here on the front. So it's a very radioactive lens. I've seen some videos on YouTube of people testing for the radiation, and it's actually pretty radioactive. So, but it's an awesome lens. I really love it. You get some really nice bokeh with this lens, and it's very sharp. And I have this lens on this camera pretty much 100%. I have two more lenses. I have I think it's like 100 millimeter or 135, but it's too long for me. I don't really take it with me that often, so this lens stays in this camera pretty much 100%. Great camera, great lens. So this is what I will take with me on trips. The second camera, and in this little compartment here, this is where I keep the film. So right now I have, let's see, I keep this in the fridge pretty much all the time. So I got 4 rolls of film, and I think the first one probably black and white. Yeah, so L4 pan 100. I actually never shot this film before. So I've shot the 400. So I have that. I think the rest are black and white. So Kodak Tri-X 400, great film. I think the other ones are the same. Let me see. Actually, yeah, I have Hector 100 here. So this is a color film. I really like this film a lot. The reds really pop, and it's got a very nice contrasty look to it. I actually prefer this more than the Portra 400. So this is probably what I will take with me on the trip. So that's that. This is a little bag that I got from Amazon. And in here, I have my Leica Q-P charger with this little Apple wall connector thing, wall plug, which is an awesome hack. So you don't have to take the cable with you all the time. So I have that. And so that's basically it for the main compartment of the camera. Now let's go to the front. You have 2 pockets where you can fit, like, you know, a couple of things. So in here I have a power block to charge my devices. Pretty handy, especially when you're traveling. Second, this is optional. This is where I keep my passport. If I'm traveling outside of the US, this is what I will take with me. You can put your passport here and your credit cards and, you know, some cash or whatever. So this is handy to have. But if I'm not traveling out of the US, so I probably won't be taking this. And in here I have notepad. This is a moleskin. You know, it's always good to have a notepad with you. I mean, you can take notes on your phone nowadays, obviously, but it's always nice to write something on a you know, in a book. So this is nice to carry with you. A lot of people seem to prefer to have that kind of like nostalgic thing of writing in books. So I kind of agree with those people. So pen, this is a gift from my parents. And that's it. That's it for the main compartment and the 2 front pockets. So let's go in the back. So the back has a really cool space here. You can probably fit a book or any other accessory. So right now I have this little pouch, actually 1981 inventions. The DRV pedal, it's awesome. Shout out to Matt. So this is where I keep miscellaneous things like this little device to transfer my photos from my camera into my iPhone or an iPad if you have one. This comes in handy when you don't have access to a computer and you're kind of like on the run. So it's not the same as editing on the computer, but if you're editing on your phone, I use Lightroom Mobile and it works pretty well. So I carry this with me. And charger, cable for my iPhone. Oh, you gotta have that. And an extra battery for my Leica Q-P. So I usually carry 2 batteries with me all the time. The batteries are pretty good on this camera. I usually keep the EVF, not the EVF, but the LCD screen off on the camera, and that saves some battery. So, but 2 batteries is plenty of what you need. In here I have a lens cloth. Just gotta have that, and a little pen to also clean the lenses with a little brush. It's always good to have that when you're traveling. Obviously your gear can get a little dirty and dusty, so a couple of cleaning tools are a necessity. So that's this little bag. And on the side, you have these two kind of tight pockets, but you can actually fit some stuff in here. So let's start with this side. So I have my headphones. These are the AirPod Pros. I just got them actually, and they work pretty nice. So I'm really happy with these. Before I would carry bigger headphones every time we travel, and it was always a pain in the ass to like fit them in the bag or whatever. So I opted to go with something smaller. Again, the whole philosophy of having a smaller kit. So I carry this with me, and on this pocket, a couple of Purell hand sanitizer. You gotta have this with you all the time now, and you should have even before this whole COVID thing. Keep your hands clean. So I have that, especially when you travel, and chapstick, very punk rock, I guess. More like Bad Religion punk rock, but you know, you gotta have that. You gotta have that sort of stuff with you, and that's basically it. That's the whole bag. Like you see, I mean, I was able to fit a lot of things, minus this camera, obviously, but even if I wasn't taking the Q-P, like I said earlier, I can take this M-Type 240 and it will probably work the same way. So it's a pretty cool bag. I mean, you can fit a lot of stuff in it. So I'm really happy with the purchase, and I can't wait to actually take it with me on a trip. So yep, that's the whole bag. All right, this is it for the video. Remember to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Ring the bell to stay notified on future videos, and look me up on Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.